Hey Yarny friends, it's been a hot minute since I've been on here, so figured it was about time to pop over and have a little bit of an update of what's going on in my little corner of YouTube here. So if you want to grab that laundry you've been meaning to fold or the whip that you have been working on, hang out with me for a little bit while we have a little bit of a debrief of what's been going on this summer. Welcome back to my podcast, A Rambling Yarn. I'm Emily, and here on my channel, I ramble on in ADHD fashion about what I've been working on and things that have been going on just in general. And I did a lot of reading this summer. I actually sat down and tallied up the physical copies and audiobooks that I somehow managed to read this summer, which is a lot more than I was expecting. So I guess I'll probably talk about that at the end for those who are not interested in book talking sort of podcasts. That's totally fine. So we'll start. It's a pretty short video, I think, for today. We'll just do a quick update on what I've been working on knitting and crochet yarn fiber arts wise over this summer, which went by so fast. We started out the summer. My in-laws rented a really sweet house down like about a block from the beach. Our whole family got to go and we got to spend time with them and cousins and all of that, and that was really sweet and really fun. We didn't really do much besides just hang out, have swimming lessons for the first time ever for my kiddos, and we just enjoyed our neighborhood friends and just being chill and staying up late and watching movies and eating popcorn and running around barefoot and, typical childhood summer sort of thing. Stayed up, watched fireflies. That was really fun. And then we wrapped the summer up actually by going back to the same beach house that my parents ended up renting this time. And it was just a really nice way to start and wrap up the summer. In that time, let's see, between now and the last time we were here together, I finished crocheting a baby blanket for my nephew. My sister-in-law had her second baby like 3 weeks early, which was crazy. But you know what? Babies come on their own time. So, and there I was telling myself, of course, I shipped it off. I didn't really take any pictures, but I have a video, a little reel that I can insert so you can see what was going on there. I was telling myself, oh, I've got like 4 weeks. And I was keeping in mind, yes, this is her second baby. So the chances of him coming early were higher than her previous, her first pregnancy, in which she actually went maybe like 2 weeks or something like that over her due date. I was fairly certain that that wasn't going to be the case this time. However, I still thought I had a couple more weeks to get this project done, which of course I didn't. You know what they say about assuming. So we got the news. She was in labor. Baby was coming. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to pause everything else that I've been working on, and we're going to just monogamously crochet this blanket. So I did manage to, I think I whipped that thing out in less than a week, and it was insane. And I was so ready to be done working with that because it was made of 100% cotton yarn, Lionbrand 24/7 cotton yarn, which is just really hard on my hands. I love the way it feels as a finished object, but working with it, it hurt. I don't have an actual pattern, but the second time that I have made this style of blanket, and yet again, I'm working through it going, man, this is really pretty, and I think I would like one of these for myself. I'm not making another one of those, at least with that particular yarn, anytime soon. Now, I believe the last time that we talked, I had a swatch. I had just finished blocking a swatch for the Billie Pullover by Sari Nordlund. And I was all set. I think I was getting ready to maybe cast that on, possibly later that day. And I did. And now I actually flew through that a lot faster than I thought I was going to. Cables, I've decided I was very intimidated. I have never really knit anything with cables before, apart from one pair of little baby overalls, and all that had was this itty bitty, probably like 2/2 cable that ran up each leg, like the side of each leg. And that was it. And so that was very, very simple. So then I jumped right into this naturally with no in between. And here we are. I've gotten past, I did the yoke. And then once I got to the yoke, before I officially split, I did block it, which was nice because it did. I realized that it was going to grow a couple inches in every direction, and everything blocked out so beautifully. And that was good. This is the front. All right. So here it is. Trying not to cover the microphone. I don't remember what size that I am making, if I'm being completely honest. I think I started on maybe the 3rd size, but then I also got through and at one point had the realization that on the center cables here, which is, I want to say this is called a honeycomb in the middle, a honeycomb stitch. Shoop. I realized that I was missing one of those on both the front and the back for the smaller size that I thought I was making. And then also decided that I wanted to go up just in case. I wanted to go up a size. And in the end, it is what it is. I just decided to make up for it in the side where there's like a moss stitch. So that just has a handful of extra stitches in the underarms because this is not for me. I am knitting this up for my husband, who has been wanting like a fisherman style, a Guernsey style sweater for years. So I figured, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And I am using Cascade Yarns Superwash. It's Cascade 220, and it's all merino. I believe this one, says color number 71 in dye lot 3. It's a medium weight yarn. It's a worsted weight yarn, although I feel like it's kind of on the lighter side as I'm working with it. It feels lighter. I believe that the actual name for this color, apart from color number 71, was parsnip, which really tickled me because I did attempt to grow parsnips in my garden this year. They never sprouted, germinated. They didn't do anything. My garden had a tough time this year, and things that I thought were going to grow never took off. And then I did cucumbers, and this was actually the first year. I have tried to do cucumbers in the past. This was the first year that those just exploded, and I have so many cucumbers coming, and they have been super happy, and it's been wonderful. And I think that a lot of the problems that I've been having with everything else is the fact that we had like a whole month where it just was 90 degrees and or more. And with the humidity that we get, we're up where I am. I'm in southern New England, and the humidity adds just a disgusting level of like weather oppression. It's I believe the feel like temperature a lot of the days through our like 3.5, 4 week heat wave was over 100 degrees when you factored in the humidity level. And it was just repulsive. And that stunted, I think, the majority of my plans. While I'm talking, I might as well go ahead and put this on to actually show what it looks like on a human body. All that to say, the garden's not great, but my sweater looks fantastic. So here we are. Doing the math the other day, I was just looking at like where this is falling on me. My husband and I actually wear we wear the same size in a lot of things, which is kind of fun. And that way it's easy to make things for him, because if it fits me, it's going to fit him. Except he needs things that are slightly longer because his torso is longer and I have no torso at all. So I think looking at it, I think I decided that I needed to do like maybe 7 more cable repeats, and that was going to bring me down to maybe here on me and not quite there on him. And then that would give me enough space to do the ribbing on the bottom. And this was one of those where the construction was, you started doing the back and you worked back and forth over the back and the shoulders. And then eventually, and then to here, and you just kept going back and forth and back and forth. I don't know what that technique is called. And eventually you join in the round and then you work down. This is the first time that I've ever done that, and it was fascinating. It was a little tedious in my opinion, but I completely understand the reasoning behind why you would use that technique for this. The only reason I found it tedious was doing working cables on the wrong side. Not that you were, I don't think there really was any part where while you were working on the working side, you weren't actually doing an cable, like actively cabling. You just were, doing the back and forth. But still, any amount of time that I have to do purling more than is necessary, I dislike that, because I don't like purling, as I think that's pretty common for a lot of people. Purling is just, it's not my favorite, and that's fine. But here she is. I believe, yeah, this is obviously the collar gets added on at the end. So we will see. I bought this yarn from Webs, yarn.com, America's largest yarn store. And if you buy a sweater's quantity worth of the same yarn, I do believe they give you some sort of discount. And by sweater's quantity, I think it's like 6 to 8 skeins. It's one of somewhere in there. They give you a little bit of a discount for a bulk purchase. And I had a gift card. So in the end, I think I spent less than $40 on all of this yarn. And it was great. The last thing that I have to show you, the last work in progress that I have, is my temperature blanket. Again, I think I showed this, I think I showed this the last time. And I believe that would have put us in April, May, somewhere in there. And so we're way farther than that. I am not caught up because I put it down to work through that other, the baby blanket. And then I've been pretty much monogamously working on this sweater because my goal is to have it done by October. My husband and I are trying to plan a trip somewhere at the beginning of fall to go. We are celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary this year, which seems crazy. I would love to be able to finish this sweater before Gregory and I go off and have a little bit of time away. I booked this place, and then it occurred to me as I'm starting to do some research about what's going on in that area and what's around there. It's like, oh, hey, duh, I should search and see if there's a local yarn store. And there is. There's one that's maybe like a 4-minute walk from the cute little place that we're going to be staying. So hopefully when the time comes, we will go and visit, and maybe I can get a little bit of footage and take you through the adorable little yarn shop in town. Maybe I'll do a little vlog. I don't know. We'll see. All that to say, I'm hoping that I get that sweater finished. And because I've been mainly working on that, I think I made it to July. I made it through June and all of the ridiculous, crazy heat wave stuff. And now I'm in July, and this has gotten really long. Yeah, you can see where all of a sudden it started being like, I don't know why I did this last time too. Like this blanket is going to end up being giant, which is great. I love a giant blanket. That's fine. But you can see where I think the last we spoke, I was somewhere around here, and I was like, oh look, it's starting to warm up a little bit. That's great. And so yeah, it did. It warmed up, and now you can see where all of a sudden it got really hot. And so this is the beginning. This was maybe mid-June where all of a sudden we started getting those insanely like 100+ degree days. And so there's more to come. Oof. But it is chaos. I did not go for like a very well aesthetically curated color palette. I went for insane and bold and vibrant and fun and chaos, and I'm all for it. If you are only here for yarn updates, that's all that I have, and it was really good to have you, and I'm so excited to be back and share the things that I've been working on and to hang out a little bit. So thank you for hanging out with me, and let me know what you worked on over the summer, if you worked on anything, or if you were able to just take a break and relax. Let me know what was going on for you guys this summer. I did other things. I painted this. I don't know why, but I just felt like black-eyed Susans, or I think there's another name for them too, but they just seemed like a fun, summery, appropriate thing to paint. I have no training whatsoever. I used gouache paints, and I just kind of looked up a few reference pictures of real black-eyed Susans on Google, and I went from there. So that was a fun little excursion, and now we can talk about books. Last summer, I was introduced to Emily Henry, and I fell in love with her, and I was so excited to finally read this author who I feel like everybody has talked about. And I'm late to the party, and it doesn't matter because you know what? I arrived. I got there eventually. I found a copy of Beach Read at Target a while ago. And this is like a deluxe edition. So pretty. So this is what I started off with this summer, Beach Read. And while I was reading that, my Libby hold for Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez became available. So during times that I was on vacation, while I was cooking and doing bedtime and all of that stuff, I was able to listen to that. Also, that was the first time that I've read anything by Abby, and it was less lighthearted than I was imagining, but also I got so many giggles, and the characters were just so real, and it was fantastic. It was very emotional, and I will definitely be checking out other books by her. I started this one while I was kind of waiting. I am not very far in it yet. I'm only about 100 pages in. This is like the 5th book in a series. This is a self-published series. The Foxhole Court is where it starts out. And this is not typically, like it's about a sports team, various people on said team. And I'm not usually a sports person. I am not very athletic. I never really have been. And sports has never particularly been very interesting to me. However, the cast of characters in this series is insane and crazy, and I am very fond of all of them. It's a very niche series. And that's kind of all I can really say about it. Book lovers, again, by Emily Henry. Almost done with that one. I'm liking Book Lovers, but not as much as Betrayed or People We Meet on Vacation. But it is still really wonderful, and Emily Henry is she just has such an amazing way of writing characters that just feel really authentic. And I really appreciate that. I listened to Fahrenheit 451, which I had never read. I know that was required reading for a lot of people in high school, but I had a not so stereotypical high school experience. I was homeschooled, and a lot of the books on the high school reading list were not on mine. So I'm kind of playing catch up a little bit for these like very classic books that everybody else read. And that one was amazing. And it was only maybe, I think the audiobook was only 5.5 hours long. So I got through that in an afternoon, and it was so good. It was really, really good. I listened to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That was also so beautiful. It just was gorgeous. The writing was gorgeous. The story, like, it had me in tears. The relationships in that book were just so beautiful. And just the human experience in general. I've been making my way through the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and I've been listening to other books in between so that I don't burn out on Carl. And I started listening to him like late in the winter. And oh my goodness, Matt Dinniman, what are you even doing to my brain? This series I was very surprised. It has no business being as good as it is. It is insane. And I was not expecting going into it that it was going to end up being like a very complicated, intricate political system. I thought we were just here for a weird, slightly morbid, goofy old time, but no, it's fascinating. Carl. I finished listening to The Butcher's Masquerade. I took a break. I listened to the other things, and now I am on The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. This is crazy. I've only recently started seeing physical copies of these books in the wild, and they are amazing and gorgeous and super fun. And I think it would be I would be willing, anyways, it would be worth it to me to purchase physical copies of this. I enjoy the audio versions. The narrator is amazing. Jeff Hayes, I think is his name. So talented. So many voices. It's fantastic. Gregory and I have enjoyed this series so much that when earlier, I think roughly very like a week or so after I filmed my last podcast, we actually lost one of our cats. He passed away very, very suddenly. It was really traumatic. I think he had a stroke. I don't know. It was very out of the blue, very unexpected. And he was one of a bonded pair. We had Mary and we had Pippin. Mary's the one that we lost. And it was crazy. And in like only a day or two after, I actually had a friend who texted me and said, "Hey, not trying to rush your grieving process, but I thought I'd let you know. My cousin is fostering 10-day-old kittens if you want to keep that in the back of your head." We did end up rescuing and adopting one of these kittens, and we ended up naming her Donut. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Here's Princess Donut. If you enjoyed hanging out with me and Donut while we rambled on about what we were up to this summer and the books that we read and the things that we made, please like the video, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, notifications and all of that, all the things. And if you want to follow me somewhere where I post more regularly, you can go and check out my Instagram at a.rambling.yarn. I post fairly regularly over there, both on stories and on posts and all of that. That tends to be where I hang around most often. So go ahead and do that, and I will see you next time on Rambling Yarn. Bye, guys.